right, coming to the stage next, we have Miss Diana Morris coming to the stage. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I want to give honor to Sheila Hill and all these awesome speakers who have shared their heart, shared their story, and empowered us to be the best that we could be. How many of you know that you have gifts, you have talents, you have purpose in you? But life has also ups and downs. It also has challenges that sometimes will keep you stuck. Raise your hand, put it in the chat if you can relate, right? I believe that in this life, we're going to have trouble, but also the God of the universe has overcome this world, and so can you and me. I'm Diana Morris. I'm a registered nurse, speaker, certified transformation coach, and an empowerment strategist for women of faith. And what I do is empower women and others to move from pain to purpose, from tribulations to triumph, as true worshipers of the living God, so they can stand bold and confident in their calling and in their purpose as they serve God and others. Today, I don't have the time to share everything about what God has laid on my heart in this last and evil day, but I put it all in a framework, and it's called the Stand Resilience Framework. After you've done all to stand therefore. I mean, everything you need, every garment, every weapon, and never give up. Okay. And so since I can't share it all now, I want you to go to bit.ly, Diana, let's connect. So we can connect on social media. So you can get a free download of a resilience guide that I believe is going to help you when no one's looking at the camera. I believe is going to help you in those midnight hours when the enemy comes after your vision, comes after your family, and comes after your purpose. It's called Keep Standing. And if I say anything during these next few minutes that empowers you, inspires you, if you don't mind, put in the chat, I'm up. And I'm up today is going to represent those of you that already hit six figures, those of you who've already lost those 20 pounds, those of you who have already got that Boaz and you didn't walk down the aisles, and you may be like me, walking around here 34 years. Come on here. But somebody on this live or somebody watching this podcast is going to say I'm up because you don't quite have it yet, but you believe that the God that promised you is going to bring it to pass. So put in the chat, I'm still up. I might still be a little overweight. I might still be by myself. I might still be battling with things that come in my mind, but I believe that I'm still up. I'm still up. I'm still up. My goodness, I feel the glory here. So what I want to do is let you know right now, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, is that God has empowered you to do what he sent you here to do. And the first key I want to let you to know that has helped me and many others is in the Stand Resilience Framework is to have a spiritual foundation. That spiritual foundation has kept me and many others that I've shared this with all over the world on podcasts and have shared it in events. I help women with books. I help them with mentorship. Come on here. As you age, we can't be everybody. We can't be everywhere. So I'm ready to hit 6-0. And so if you want a mentor, I'm the one that will lead you to how to walk by faith and not by sight. That spiritual foundation, I need it, and many of you need it. And what that means is my name is already written. There's no devil in hell that can erase it. I don't care what comes my way or your way. You just better know your name is still written. I'll never forget, I was sitting in my home office and I was working on my laptop. I worked as a registered nurse, and in the evenings as an entrepreneur. How many of you are entrepreneurs? You're making it happen. Come on here, 12, 13, 14 hours writing books. doing different events. And I knew at that moment that my why was to help and strengthen not only myself, but my mother, my family. I wanted freedom. Somebody put freedom in the chat. We just don't want time freedom. We want money freedom. All those different whys. If you have a why, put it in the chat. I have a why and I'm up and up. But the phone rang as I'm working, and I answered the phone. It was my sister in Ohio, and she said, Diana, Mama has fallen. And all I know is that she's on the way to the emergency room, unresponsive. I'll call you when I get there. I hung up the phone. What could I do? 500 miles away from my 91-year-old mama. My why? I wanted her to have the area for the little dogs could play. My why? I wanted her to have everything she needed because she had raised us and taught us the goodness of God. I leaned on my spiritual foundation and I prayed. Somebody say pray. I prayed. And not only did I pray, I had to have this next pillar of resilience, and that is to have hope. You need to be anchored in hope. Why do you hope for something that you already have? I needed God to move. Somebody say move. One of my clients who work with me, she, when I said yes to being a coach and a mentor, I don't know about you, I'm just going to throw this in. I wasn't going to do it. It's too many people against women, especially women of color. I've been rejected. I've been discriminated against. And in 2018, I was just going to live my best life. Somebody say, live your best life. But that's not what God had in store. So I started this coaching business, started mentoring women. And one woman came in, I'll call her Alice. She was on her bed and she couldn't even get up and walk. And because I said yes, the first week of this resilience program, she got up, walked, got a cane, got a walker, because she knew that all of it's going to start with you. 100% of the time, it's still on you. I don't care how he did you. I don't care how much money they stole. You still got to take responsibility for your life. I'm done with that. She got up and walked. And then I began to know that I had purpose, not to just sit here and eat all this good stuff, not sit here and listen to you and you listen to me, but we have a responsibility to share it with others. And so what I ended up doing was continue to mentor women. But when I got that call, when I had to have that hope, I thought about another lady who had gone through a divorce, had 3 children all by herself, trying to raise, but after going through the program, she was able to increase her income $20,000 and now succeeding in her career and in ministry. I thought about all that, y'all, but I have to keep it real. Somebody say keep it real. None of that mattered because the next call I got, Mama died. And I wanted to throw in the towel on all. I sat on my bed having chest pain. Me being a nurse for over 35 years, mentoring, preaching the gospel, I knew it could be my heart. Lean in with me, guys. I had to talk to myself. Have you ever talked to yourself? I talked to myself. Yeah, it could have been my heart. It could have been stress, anxiety. It even could have been gas. But I asked myself the question, Diana, do you want to live or do you want to die? And the last key I'm going to share with you is you have to persevere. You have to be determined to persevere. That's the last key. And I thought about my mama dying at 91 with 1 kidney, never had dialysis. And if you ever drive down the street, you got a center pretty much on every corner. And I start to remember that it's the anointing that keeps us living this long. COVID came through and took a lot of us out. You hear me? COVID came through and a lot of us didn't make it. If you're still here, my dear brother and sister, you have purpose. Mama was born in the 1930s where racism was out of this world. She'd had to go to the fields. She lost her mother and her father by the time she was 10 years old. And I'm thinking of all this when I ask myself, do you want to live or do you want to die? my mama would have to run to the fields and they say, lay low, they coming. She'd lay low in the fields till the white men drove by. Resilience. She buried 2 husbands and 3 children, still preached the gospel like many of you are, or at least believing it. And the nurses said in that rehabilitation center, instead of giving up, she sang hymns and spiritual song. Instead of giving up, mama preached the gospel to the nurses. And to hear that, I looked at myself, and I want you to look at yourself because you might have lost something too. And if you haven't lost it, keep on living. I thought about that. I said, how dare me give up on my call? How dare me give up on my purpose because mama finished her course. Put it in the chat. Some folks gonna finish this course before you. My goodness. But you, my dear brother, you, my dear sister, you have to keep running your race. Come on here, running your race. That business partner may not run with you all the way. That husband, that wife may not be there all the way. I had to sit there on that bed and realize that this is Diana's race. This is what the call that God has put on me. Mama finished hers, but I got to keep running. Who running with me? Who running with me? So I've shared with you. I've shared with you, my dear brother, my dear sister, what do you have to do? Forgive me. I'm here to tell you that you have to have a spiritual foundation. For me, it's my faith in God. For you, it could be something else. But I believe it needs to be bigger than you. Number 2, you have to be anchored in hope. Hope maketh not ashamed. If you already have it, why are you hoping? And lastly, be determined to persevere and never give up. Say it with me. I will, I can, and I must fulfill my purpose. I'm Diana Morris. I want you to keep standing. Connect with me with bit.ly, Diana Let's Connect. I support mass incarceration. My business supports domestic violence awareness because I've been there. I've wrote about it. My son was incarcerated as a teenager. I did it. I played that game and I know what's going on. So if I can't be there, I'm going to sow into it. I want you to keep standing. Till next time, God bless you.
Yeah. That's the church. Yes, thank you, Miss Diana Morris. I will, I can, I must fulfill my purpose. How dare I give up on my call? How dare I? Who do I think I am? My God from Zion. Ooh, okay. Stand up. Keep standing. I'm up. I'm up. Put I'm up in the chat in the chat. I'm up in the chat. Put I'm up in the chat. Ooh, honey. We gotta have an in-person conference, man. We got to. It's too much talent here. Too much. My God from Zion. Okay, next up we have Miss Keyatra Edwards. She's back in the building. She's out of town, so she's back in the building. If you can hear me, say yes, Miss Keyatra.
Yes. Hey, you guys, I'm here. I'm in the Uber. I'm on my way to the airport. So I'm going to, first I want to say thank God for bringing us all together on this amazing journey. And I believe that we are destined for greatness. And with each other, we can continue to, continue to help each other, build each other, and succeed in whatever we need to do to be great. I want to give a shout out to you, Sheila. Like I said, you are amazing. I thank you so much for bringing this challenge because I was not one to go live. I want to give a shout out to Colleen. I love you, girl. Keep pushing. We are sisters through church, but we are sisters through, faith and works and everything. Tammy, I want to say thank you for continuing to hold me accountable. I want to say that I am Keyatra Edwards. I am an author of an ebook called Parenting After a Bad Childhood. Short on that, I went through a lot of things as a child. And I was just thinking this morning and reflecting on some things like, I was born with the veil over my face, and for a long time, I did not know what that meant, you know? So growing up and doing research, I found that since the day I was born, the enemy was already didn't want me to pursue my greatness. So it was a lot of struggles to, grow and get to where I am now. So my ebook is basically touching bases on that because I did go through a lot of things. I did have to learn how to self-heal. It's not easy, but we are not alone because it is many of us on self-healing journeys. No two situations are the same, but I want you guys to know that it can be done. You can self-heal. First thing you have to do is forgive, not for yourself, no, not for them, but for self, so that you can continue to pursue your dreams and be who God purposed and destined you to be. So that's basically what my ebook is about, is self-healing. There is some journal pages in there. So while journaling, while going through the ebook, by the time you reach the end of the ebook, you should be able to know your purpose, your why, and you should be able to either write a book or have your own ebook to share with someone else. Basically, I feel that this ebook will draw from you your purpose and your why to share with someone else. So moving on to that, within the 30-day live, I've been wrote the ebook. I had set it down and just was like, no, this ain't for me. Like, so during the 30-day lives, Tammy was my accountability partner. And she just pulled a lot from me. And that led me to pick this book back up. And I'm happy to say that it's launched. And I have made $120 so far. With that being said, everyone in this group, I do want to offer the ebook to you guys for free. So once I get home later, I will post the link in the 30-day live challenge group so that you guys can go on there and purchase that. Also, with the 30-day live challenge and going live, it just led me to build a community. I am a part of the Free Hive. That's how I did meet Sheila Hill at the Done is Better Than Perfect conference. So, and she was just on fire. Every conference she go to, she lights it on fire. The whole room is just gravitated, to greatness. So, that's where I met her at. And, so yeah, it led me. Coach Harper would always say, build a community. You need to build a community. I'm like, what community? What community? Like, I just didn't understand. I understood, but I was like, okay, well, what do I have to tell? So being in this 30-day live challenge, it showed me who my people were, who my community was, So I did start a Facebook group called Learn, Unlearn, and Relearn. And it's basically a group of great people. It's not just women, people of all walks of life. And it wasn't just at first when I started, I was like, okay, people that have adverse childhood experience. But as I was adding people to the group, I'm like, okay, I know people whose kids have been murdered. I know people who sisters or family members who have committed suicide. So, going into the group, I just opened it up more broader, slowly it's picking up. I will not stop. I will continue to show up because God is going to send the people, everything is going good in the group. So yeah, join the group. I will post that link also, or you can go on my page. The link is posted there. But I just want to say again, thank you guys. I love you guys. Destiny, thank you for everything that you have done also in helping me learn to create faceless brands. I'm going for it, girl. I'm going for it. And I just want to say thank you all. And I'm going to get off of here. And I will see you all later. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow because I get home late. And keep pushing. Like, I don't know who said it, but I said it this morning. So it was confirmation for me when I went live in my Facebook group. I said, do not dim your light for someone else to shine. Do not let anyone dim your light for them to shine. I don't like to use the word hater or whatever, but people do want to stand in your spot. So don't let nobody knock you off your square. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you for being persistent and making it through. I know you've been traveling, so thank you very much. Oh my God, that's awesome. Listen, okay. Self-heal, forgive, learn, unlearn, relearn. I won't stop. I love that fact that you said you're not going to stop. And that's the whole point. Once we get going, we got to keep going. It's not just past the 30 days. Now you got to keep going. So because you know more, you're finding your voice, you're finding your purpose, walk in it, run in it, all of that. Listen, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Thank you, love. All right. Next we have coming up all the way from Florida, Miss Angela Brooks. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? These are my jazz hands. If you've seen my live, y'all know that we do it with the hands, honey. Yes, everything you need is in these hands. And that's why we show off our hands. That's why we use our hands. I am not going to preach because I ain't no preacher. But listen, I'm just coming in to talk to y'all today. I am so excited. Listen, yesterday, today, honey, somebody pass the offering plate, okay? Give somebody stripes, somebody something. Just, this has been so filling. This has not just been a challenge. We done been to church. We done been to the healing session. We done dug ourselves out the hole with Dr. A. We have laid foundations with Miss Diana. Tammy Renee done taught us that we can dream and we need our own dreams. Dynasty done taught us how to make money in our sleep. Listen, Toinette done came over here and told you how to redo your W-4 so you can get more out of your paycheck. It's just so much stuff in this group. I am so grateful. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was like, Brad, what is this? A 30-day live challenge? In real life, I know Miss Sheila Hill. And so I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna be on there. I'm gonna just support my girl. She doing something else. Because if you know Sheila, she always doing something. And I was like, I'm just going to support my girl. She doing the 30-day live challenge. I go live when I want to. Maybe this will teach me consistency. And then, y'all, she started coming with rules and challenges and stuff we have to do. And then she gave me accountability partners. I was like, listen, this ain't school. This ain't. And then it was men. I had my accountability partners were not just one man, 2 men. Listen, ain't nobody leaving no $40 on the side table, okay? I had to do this. But what I did, y'all. I was late, but I got through it. Consistency is not my friend. I do things when I want to do it, and that's how I live my life. If I ain't getting paid for something, I'm probably late and I probably ain't finished. But I did this, and I did it for me. And I did it for everybody else who stood behind me. I earned different accountability partners in this group. The men that were with me, both of them had their own set of challenges, but the other men that were in the group, Brad picked me up, and he let me know that he got me. The other women in the group picked me up. I was never alone. But why am I here? Y'all, I got so much to say. This ain't my platform. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, but thus saith the Lord. Okay, I'm just go ahead and tell y'all what is on my heart. Who is Angela Renee? Okay, so I am a product of two beautiful people who came together and created something wonderful. That would be me. So I am the wonderful person that you see before you. Do y'all hear all of this excitement in my voice? Let me tell you something. I do this, and half the time I don't believe the words that's coming out of my own mouth. So I say it to force myself to believe it. I say it to reaffirm to myself that I am the righteousness of God. I am who he called me to be. I am everything that I don't even know that I can be. Tammy Renee was talking about dreams, and I was sitting there saying, what are mine? Like, for real, what are mine? I can remember I had my first child at 14 in a very unconventional way. Nobody has ever heard this story before. So if y'all in the audience in another country, Jesus, just don't let my daddy hear this. But I had my first child in a very unconventional manner. I lived with my mother, and she didn't believe in me giving away my baby, and she didn't believe in me or abortion. So here comes Clarissa. Behind you, you see the Clarissa Project. I will go in more depth into tell you where that came from, but I was a hustler. I was still in high school. I still had to graduate. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. My own mama told me I wasn't gonna graduate from high school because I had a baby. I took Clarissa to school with me, and we both graduated high school together. So that was when I started believing, okay, I have this baby, I have to do things different, but I am still able. I'm doing things differently. When Clarissa was 9 years old, she clinically died. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And by the time we got her to the hospital, her A1C was 14. And she was clinically dead. But all she was holding my hand. She was in a coma for a little while. But Clarissa, because she was born in an unconventional way, I was also told when I was pregnant with her that she was going to have some sexually transmitted diseases. She was going to have some learning disabilities. And y'all, if you are a parent or know anything about parenting or have been in the nursing field, when your babies are born, the doctors do what's called an APGAR score. And that score says how healthy your baby is. Y'all, my baby was the healthiest baby born on the unit to date. So I thank God for that. But as I was a single mom in the sense that I was not married. I stayed with the same man for over 20 years, trying to make him love me, trying to make him marry me, trying not to be a single parent. But just because a body is there, that does not mean a person is there mentally, emotionally, financially. You can be single, still sleeping with somebody. You can be single with somebody in your face. You can be single with a ring on your finger. Single does not necessarily mean that you are alone. Single is a state of mind. And I had to learn that I had things in me. So all I ever knew was the hustle. All I ever knew was I got to do this for my babies. I got to do that for my babies. Before I was 30, I had all I feel like I did in my 20s was have babies. By the time I was 30, I had 4 babies. I am a quad mom. My quad is my everything. My quad is the reason why I live. My quad is the reason why I breathe. But then I had to learn what you do after your babies grow up. Like Dr. A told us that yesterday. What you do when your babies grow up. What you do when they get big. What you do when you don't know what to do. And so I just kept digging and I kept hustling. So I learned that because of my mouth, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. Honey, I can make that Eskimo think that this is the best ice since the ice cream truck that just passed him. So what did I do? I went ahead and got an insurance license. And in the insurance license class, I told a lady, by the time I pay for all this insurance, I can go ahead and feed my kids. I did not understand the value of what life insurance and the other type of insurances would do for my life. A lot of people hear me talk about life insurance, and let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna stop talking about life insurance when people stop dying without it, okay? That's when I'm gonna stop talking about it. That's it, period, as Crystal would say. When I talk about life insurance, I teach people how to obtain their life insurance license. I will teach you how to obtain your life insurance license no matter what state you're in, so that you can become a licensed, certified life insurance agent and learn how to monetize not only yourself, but your business goals. From that, I was like, well, okay, I'm tired of insurance. I know how to do it. I've done it. I'm sick of it. Let's find another way to make money. So then, my dad has been doing taxes all my life. And I was like, I hate this. I hate numbers. I'm an English person. I'm not a math person. But then I learned how to finesse taxes. And when I learned how to finesse taxes, I was like, okay, God, yeah, maybe. I don't want to do it. But then my daddy told me at some point, somebody's going to have to take over my business. And I want it to be you. And I was like, yeah, but that ain't my dream. That's yours. Right, Tammy Renee? And then life happened again. My tax coach spoke into my life a few months ago and said, the Holy Spirit told me that you're going to have to take over your father's tax business. And I said, the devil is a lie. He ain't told you that because he sure ain't told it to me. And I joke with Sheila and say, I'm in this season of my life where God had me on hold. And I say that because as happy as you guys see me today, this is not what life was like yesterday. This is not what life was like this week. This is not what life was like last month. This is definitely not what life was like last year. Like I told y'all earlier, Clarissa was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 9. I have been through anything and everything that type 1 diabetes can do for you. I've seen people without limbs. I've seen people lose their eyes. I've seen people lose body parts. I've seen people have to go on dialysis. I've seen it all. And last year, diabetes took my baby. Y'all, I'm not going to cry. And if I do, oh well, we've been crying all day. Diabetes and the issues that diabetes causes took my quad to 3. I am still a quad mom, but diabetes took Clarissa away from me. It was one of the hardest moments of my life. I didn't think I had anything else to live for. I had terrible mom guilt. I thought that if I can't tell the truth to my baby, well, I'm lying to everybody else, because you got to tell the truth to your children before you can tell the truth to somebody else. And as a parent, you have all the answers. But I couldn't fix this. I couldn't do this. I couldn't be the S that was on my chest. I couldn't be what my baby needed from me. God is showing me, because I'm not going to lie, y'all, I'm still going through. He is showing me that there's life after death. He is showing me that I have gifts and talents. Diana, I didn't always believe that I had gifts and talents. People have told me a long time that I'm gifted and that I have special gifts from God. And I'd be like, well, I'm still on hold, Lord. Like, listen, I'm still on hold. So whenever you want to come and tell me about these gifts, I'm here. But the Clarissa Project came about because one of the things that I always told Clarissa when she got really sick, she clinically died again in June 3rd of 2020. And I said, baby, if you want to live, we will pray together and ask God to let you be here. And she squeezed my hand and I said, we got this, baby. We're going to do this. And he gave her 2.5 more years. She died the day before my birthday in August 2022. So my birthdays are not the same, but I still find reason to celebrate. I used to tell her that she was simply beautiful, and that's what my shirt says, simply beautiful. I used to tell her that all the time, and because I was never able to bring her home like I promised her, that's how the Clarissa Project developed. If you know anything about care of a person who is sick, sometimes they need to live in an assisted living facility, meaning they need medical care either a couple of hours a day up to 24 hours a day. They can also live in long-term care facilities, meaning that they live out the duration of their life in a facility that is nurtured and, where they have all their meals and their therapies. Or they can live at home. And the goal was for her to be able to live at home. And I could never do that for her. So the Clarissa Project is a program that came from the housing need. In my state, over 40% of the people who are homeless are women. I house single women and single men. I'm not yet to the point of couples or parents or people with animals yet, but my homes house single women, single men, ages 18 and up, through the time that they decide to leave. It is a shared living environment done through an independent living facility, which basically means in shared living. So if you have a family or you share your house with anybody, you share communal spaces like Simone was talking about and like Crystal was talking about. So for instance, they share things like the living room, the dining room, the laundry room, and there's three housing models that they can choose from. They can have a shared living environment where they have a roommate and that they share their room with a roommate, and they also share the bathroom and the other communal spaces with the roommate. The second housing model is where they have a private room and they share a bathroom and the other communal spaces. The third way is for them to have a suite. The suite model is where they have their own individual their own individual bedroom and their own individual bathroom. The key here is we don't take everybody. We don't allow just anybody. This is not a group home. This is not a rooming house. We have rules. We have leases. And I don't cook for these people, although I have been told I can do a little something in the kitchen. I don't cook for these people. I don't drive them places. They take their own meds. This is essentially, Clarissa is a glorified landlord. So what her houses do is provide housing situations for people to go from the underdog. They go from homeless to helpful. We all know that the homeless population does not look the same anymore as it used to. We are used to people being on the road and asking for money. That's not your generic homeless person anymore. You know, I personally know someone who has a government job who does not have a place to live, and they work for the government, and their employed, their coworkers don't know that this is their situation. Like Simone told us, a lot of people are one paycheck away from being homeless. So I want you to connect with me. As a grieving mom, I empathize and sympathize with other grieving parents. I will put my link tree in the comments. If you DM me the word grief, I will send you some grief affirmations. As a grieving parent and as a grieving family member, you need to understand that there is life after death. And you need to speak life into yourself. You need to bring these dry bones. Oh, Jesus. You need to bring these dry bones back to life. So DM me the word grief, and I will send you some grief affirmations. If you DM me the word life and tax, I will send you some a one-pager about the benefits of life insurance, and I will also give you some tax tips. I have also recently started something else. And you can borrow my VA. It is not the same business as Sheila C. Hills, but I have a team of virtual assistants. And if you need a virtual assistant to help you get your business together, to help you get your life together, to help you with your homeschooling of your kids, or to just send something off to the grocery store because you ain't got time to go and you got lots of stuff to do. Virtual assistants are the cheat code to life. And you can let me know if you need the virtual assistant on a project basis, on a part-time basis, or on a full-time basis, and my team will get with you so that we can assist you to be better. I thank y'all so much for taking time to be with us today. This was a lot for us. I do want to give Sheila C. Hill her flowers because she has pushed us, she has stretched us through what God is doing in her life. This was her God project. And God has allowed her to bring out the goodness and our strength and our abilities that some of us did not even know that we had. And through her saying yes to God. So much has happened in just these 30 days, and so many relationships that we didn't even know that we were going to be able to form. So if anybody needs me, I consider myself a safe space for others. If you need me, you can contact me. I may not always be available, but I holler back at you. So just let me know what you need. I will do my best to be there for you. I appreciate you. I love you to the moon and back. Y'all have a wonderful day. Everything you need is in these hands. Bye-bye.
Hey, spirit, jazz hands, jazz hands. Thank you, Angela Brooks. I'm still able. Single doesn't mean you are alone, baby. What? There's life after death. Simply beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing your story, for being transparent. Thank you. It's going to bless so many people, Angela. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! Baby, the stage is on fire. Next up is Chantelle Davis. Coming to the stage. Chantelle, let's go.
All right, y'all. Listen. We are here at the close out of the show. Oh my God. Like, this has been simply amazing. But there's something that I would like to do, because I feel like everybody has done it individually, but I want to just be a little different. Is it okay if I be different today, y'all? I just want to be different, right? So what I would like for y'all to do, right? But y'all have to follow instructions. I would like for you to unmute yourself. And we're going to give a very, very loud, resounding round of applause for Miss Sheila C. Hill. So unmute yourself, and I'm going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, we're going to just give it up for Sheila. Is that okay if we do that real quick, y'all? Right. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yes. All right. Listen.
Thank y'all.
These past 2 days have been simply amazing, right? It has been simply amazing. So we have gone on an emotional journey. We have gone on a transformational journey. We have been talked about, like we've been taken to church, right? We've gone to church over these past couple days, and on our way to church, they took us on a journey down to Resilience Road. We visited Transformational Road. We went over to Overlook Outlook. We've gone over to Hopeful Highway, and now it's time for us to travel to the bank on our way to Freedom Freeway. Who is with me and ready to go to the bank? Y'all ready to go to the bank? So it would be very, very easy for me to talk to you about me, right? It would be, because can't nobody talk about me better than me, right? Can't nobody talk about what I do better than me, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a simple introduction of myself, but then I want to talk to you all about how we can take all of the stuff that we've heard today about being resilient, about being an overcomer, and about taking our passions and our purpose and turning it into a profit. Because what it's time for us to do now is, y'all, go to the bank. And if you're ready to go to the bank, let's say go to the bank in the comments. Let's go to the bank. So while you're doing that, I'm Chantelle Davis, and I have coined myself to be known as your favorite tax, wealth, and mortgage strategist. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs turn their passion and purpose into profits so that they can build businesses that are not only financially successful, but that are also personally fulfilling. And on my journey, one of the things that I found out is that a lot of people are wanting to take their or they aspire to blend their entrepreneurial spirit with their true financial wisdom. But the problem is nobody is really talking to us about that. There's nobody that's really giving us a guideline or a blueprint on what we need to do in order to take our businesses to the next level, right? So many of us struggle to see the financial fruits of our passion because have you guys ever been ever been told that it's selfish of you to take your the gifts that God gave you and try to profit off of it, or they try to make you feel guilty because you're operating in your purpose, and because you're operating in your purpose some kind of way, that means that you need to be working for free. But listen, God has given us gifts and he is requiring certain things of us. And in order for us to fulfill our obligations to God, guess what we need, y'all? Some coins. We need some money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about unlocking the power of purpose and passion while being profitable, right? So have you ever found yourself caught up in the tangle of managing finances, trying to understand the marketing dynamics of whatever the industry or niche that you're in, all while staying in tune with your purpose? If so, then who I am or what I've done is, as a financial educator, I've been exactly where you are, right? I understand the challenges of balancing the books while keeping the fire of passion alive. I'm here to guide you through this unique situation. So again, you can turn your passion and your purpose into profit. Now, on this journey, there's three things that is very important. There's three things that we need to know, three things that we need to understand. The first thing is we have to understand how to leverage our passion. So how do you leverage your passion? Because your passion is going to be the fuel to you being innovative. It's what's going to connect you to your customers. It's what's going to help you stand out in the marketplace, right? So once you learn how to leverage your passion, the next thing that you have to do is align your purpose and passion with profit. Your purpose is going to be your compass. It's going to let you guide your business decisions towards profitability, right? But the thing that comes down to it, which is the third thing, and that's what we're really going to talk about today, is once you leverage your passion, you align it with your purpose so that you can become profitable, you got to know your numbers. And where a lot of people miss the market at when it comes to business, especially in service-based businesses, is we don't know our numbers, right? So when I'm talking about knowing your numbers, a lot of times we devalue ourselves simply because we are riding that wave or that notion that we're not supposed to make a profit off of our God-given talent. So we're not supposed to make a profit because it's something that we are passionate about, or because we know that we're operating in our purpose. But I'm here to tell you again, God has obligations for you, and some of those obligations requires you to have your coins. So when it comes to you knowing your numbers, these are things that I want you to take into consideration, right? I want you to take into consideration, not necessarily how long it takes you to do a thing, right? Because people think that if it only takes you 5 minutes to do a thing, that I should only be paying you $5, but I'm gonna call that a lie, right? And my daddy liked to say, and the truth ain't in it. So listen, I am a tax professional, and I have over the past 20 plus years been in an industry where I am educating myself, and that costs me money, where I am being diligent in learning and crafting my sharpening my tools so that I can ensure that when you come and sit before me, that I'm able to provide a knowledgeable service to you to ensure that you keep more of what you make. So yes, it might only take me 5 minutes to do this tax return, but how much effort, how much information, how much time did I have to put into being able to do this in 5 minutes? So whatever your craft is, whatever your thing is, first thing you need to take in consideration is your background, right? And let's just say, for instance, your background started yesterday. Let's think about what you're going to have to put into it, because one of the issues that we have as entrepreneurs is we like to start small, right? So we have this notion or this belief that if I'm just starting out, I'm going to be cheap, right? I'm going to start low. I'm going to tell you, start where you are, because one of the most difficult things to do in business is raise your prices, because what you're going to become known as is the low cost king or queen, depending on where you stand. So think about what are you going to have to do in order to become the best, right? How much time is that going to take? How much, what is it going to cost you, right? So that's one of the things that we want to think about. Then the next thing that you want to think about. So the first thing you're thinking about is your time value to money, right? That's what you're going to think about. How much is it costing me to offer this service or this product to my clients or my customers? The next thing that I want you to think about is, what are your expenses, right? Because a lot of times when we are doing our pricing, right, we are pricing based off of what someone else is doing. We're looking at someone else's model and we don't know their background. We don't know their story. We don't know their history. We don't know their numbers. And we are presuming that if they can sell a thing for $10, then we can sell a thing for $8, right? And what ends up happening while you're trying to get all of the customers by undercutting your competition, what you're actually doing is shortening your route to the bank, right? What you're doing is putting a stumbling block in your own way as you are trying to go to the bank. So don't worry about what someone else is doing or how much somebody else is charging. The quickest way for me to show you the exit of my office is for you to tell me how much somebody else charge. Because I don't care. Because whatever they got going on ain't what we got going on over here, right? So in knowing your numbers, you need to know how much does it cost you to offer this service, right? So take into consideration, what is your, like, do you pay rent, right? Are you traveling? So what is how much is your cost for gas and your fuel? How much is it costing you to operate your business? How much is it costing you? And what you have to think about is, even if you're at home, right? So let's just say that you are a home-based business owner, a home-based entrepreneur, there are still expenses there. So what are your operating costs? So we need to take that into consideration, because one of the things that I found out as a financial educator, as a tax strategist, as an accountant, is that a lot of times we are not even breaking even in our business because we don't know our numbers. So we are forgetting something. So one of the things that a lot of times that we don't take into consideration is, when we are an entrepreneur, right? You have your obligations in order to make sure that your business is operational. But now you also have to be concerned about, how are you going to pay for your personal stuff, right? And if you are a full-time entrepreneur, there's generally that income. So that income has to be sufficient for your home as well as for your business. So when you're doing your pricing and you're setting up your pricing structure and your pricing model, that has to be taken into consideration, because you got to pay yourself, right? So you want to take that into consideration. The next thing that I want you to take into consideration is, so now you've taken into consideration the value, your time value, you've taken into consideration your operational expenses. Now, the next thing I want you to consider is, you can't be doing this forever. You ain't gonna be able to do this forever. So now, what does your future look like? What does your future look like, right? Are you going to be trying to work? So you're going to retire from your business and then go work at Walmart or Publix? I think somebody said it earlier. It's like, because we're not planning our finances properly, we're finding ourselves in situations where we're having to go back to work after we decided we was tired of working. So when you put in and you're doing your formula and you're putting this together, I want you to think about that, because then we have a couple people on here that talked about being able to help set you up for your financial future and get in that self-employed pension plan or that traditional or Roth IRA or whatever that is. You need to add that into your pricing model so that you can start planning for that. The next thing I want you to think about, right? And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm very unconventional, because what we not going to do is leave no money on the table, is your vacation. Somebody in the chat, and I don't remember how long they said, but it was a long time. They said they ain't been on no vacation. Baby, let me tell you something. If you ain't vacationing at least once a year, reconsider that, because you have to step away. How do you rejuvenate? How do you refresh? How do you reposition yourself to be prepared to continue to deal with whatever it is that you have going on, not just in your business, but in your life, right? Because somebody said on here, life be lifing. And life is life and hard right now for a lot of us. So we have to position ourselves to be able to step away from work, step away from services, step away from serving, so that we can realign ourselves with our passion and our purpose. But if we don't include this in our pricing, guess what? We're going to hurt in the long run from that. Now, those are 3 things that I just told you that you can do, right? In order to ensure that you are on your way to the bank so that you can make it to Freedom Freeway. Now, the very last thing that I want you to do, once you make sure that you've thought about your value, right? Then you thought about your operational expenses. And I think that was 4. I said 3. Then you thought about taking those trips. Then you thought about your future. Then you need to add tax, because I don't care what store you go to. What you not finna do, I don't care how much it costs, is you not finna buy them people's stuff and don't pay tax on it. So when you come over here, you are going to pay tax. And depending on what state it is, you're gonna pay tax twice. So as we are doing that, and you know your numbers, one of the things that is really, really important is that we begin conducting a financial health check for your business this week. Don't wait till January, because January is going to be too late. When we be talking about we're going to wait till January and get these New Year resolutions, all that is saying is that now we're going to wait till January the next year, January the next year, January the next year. And in real life, y'all, January ain't came yet. Start today. Align one business decision with your core purpose and rekindle your passion by remembering why you started. The other thing is, I want you to be aware of losing sight of your financial health or diluting your purpose in pursuit of profit. Remember, neglecting your numbers can derail even the most passionate endeavors. The last thing that I want you guys to do, and I want you to close your eyes, right? And when you're closing your eyes, what I want you to do is envision a world where your business thrives financially while echoing your deepest passions and purpose. Remember that you are enough, and with the right tools and mindset, you can create a legacy that transcends profits and resonates with your true self. Be intentional in your actions, authentic in your journey, and courageous in your decisions. You have the power to transform your passion and your purpose into a thriving, profitable business. And as we are bringing this to a close, I just want you to remember that you are enough and every penny counts. And as it has been said numerous of times between yesterday and today, you do not have to do this alone. So allow me to be your neighborhood genie and help you through grow a thriving and profitable business using our business acceleration session, where basically what we're going to do is we will sit down and we are going to conversate, and we are going to talk about where you are. We're going to talk about where you want to be, and we're going to put a blueprint in place so that you can accomplish whatever the goals are that you set out to do. And as your neighborhood genie, I will grant you your 3 wishes. Thank you so much. Remember that every penny counts. Stay safe and spend wisely.
Ended out, sis. Oh my goodness. Neighborhood genie. She had the whole hands and everything with the head nod. I love it. Profit to purpose. And then I scanned your code and said, it's not about the money you make, it's about how much you keep. Know your numbers, okay? Don't shorten your route to the bank. Freedom Freeway. Come on. Thank you all. Thank you all for all the speakers, all the insight, all the wisdom, all the motivation, everything that you brought to this Spotlight Summit. I thank you all very much. Thank you for being a part of the Sheila C. Hill Show. Just having your words and your motivation to stretch across the pond. I really appreciate it. So for the Sheila C. Hill Show, if you have not subscribed to the show, please do so. Go ahead and do that now. Tell Mama them subscribe to the Sheila C. Hill Show, because, hey, we bring the best guests in the land, baby. We are here for you. And just know that we are here and that you are loved and you are highly appreciated. So thank you for tuning in. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Until next time on the Sheila C. Hill Show. Woo! Let's go.